Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Irene G. Ferrer, BS Criminology 3, Block 1. Today, I will discuss those theories related to juvenile delinquency. First, we start to the theories related to juvenile delinquency. There are 5 types of theories. First is the social class theory, interpersonal theories, situational theories, societal reaction theories, and lastly, the control theories. In the social class theories, there are 6 different theories. First is the social disorganization theory. Social disorganization theory by Clifford Schoen and Henry Mackay. These two criminologists studied the location of crime and juvenile offenders in Chicago, year 1942. There are 3 variables they studied that offenders, the juvenile, that was poverty, mobility, and heterogeneity. Next is the anomy theory, number 2. Anomy theory by Emily Duncan. This is when a juvenile delinquent can manage to socialize to others. They are being lonely or loner. Next is the strain theory. This is when a juvenile did something that can benefit him or her, but it can cause a crime in strain theory. There are 5 ways to adapt. First is the conformity. This is when a juvenile adopts what the society does. For example, their styles, their speaking, and many other ways to adapt on the society. Next is the innovation. This is when a juvenile delinquent obtains something like using drugs or stealing to achieve financial needs. Ritualism. This is when a juvenile delinquents to be modest and humble to gain social trust. Retreatism. Next is retreatism. This is when a juvenile rejects both of the cultural goals, for example, being lunar. Next is the rebellion. The rebellion, this is when a juvenile rejects cultural goals and means, then work to place them. Number 4, the differential opportunity theory by Richard Colward and Lloyd Olin. This is when a juvenile commit crime and treat it as a normal way. This is the opportunity for them to gain the success. Number 5, class conflict theory. This is the conflict between groups or classes. Best example of this is those gangs and groups of juveniles. Differential oppression theory. This is when a juvenile uses a power to bully others, especially those easy targets like child. Next is the interpersonal theories. In interpersonal theories, there are 2 kinds, the differential association theory and the social learning theory. In differential association theory, this is where the juvenile breaks laws to prevent their needs, for example, stealing. Next is the social learning theory, a learning theory of Bandura which emphasizes the observation and modeling the behavior of delinquent. For example of this is the parents should teach them about the good manners. Next is the situational theory. There are 5 types of situational theories. First is the drift or neutralization theory. Second, denial of responsibility. Third, denial of injury. Denial of victim, condemnation, commanders, appeal to higher loyalties. In drift theory Drift Theory by David Kersey, Gresham Shaky, and David Watsa. This theory is about how to lessen the impact if not justify. Under the drift or neutralization theory, there are 5 types. The denial of responsibility. This is when the delinquent proposed that he or she was the victim. Sometimes they said it was an accident, it wasn't my fault, or I was just framed. Next, the denial of injury. This is when a delinquent afford to lose or damage. For example, when a child caught stealing, they make excuses like they were just borrowing. Next is the denial of victim. This is when a juvenile believes that the victim deserve what they got. Next is the condemnation of the commenders. This is when a juvenile adopt those bad behaviors on the society. For example, the parents of the child was a alcoholic. There's a possibility that the child can adopt it. Lastly, the appeal to higher loyalties. This is when a juvenile is protecting his own thing, which does more good than harm. Next is the societal reaction theories. Under that is the labeling theories. On labeling theory, this is when they make their crime as a good one. For example, using of marijuana. Sometimes they said it was a good for health. Next is the control theories. Under control theories, there are 3 types: the societal control theory, the interactional theory, and the self-control theory. On social control theory, this is to controlling juvenile not to commit crime. Next, under that is the attachment, commitment, and involvement. Next is the interactional theories. This is when a young develop attachment to their parents during childhood. Lastly, self-control theory. This is the tendency to consider the act. On our overall topic, this act of juvenile delinquent may be lessened if we should be our good role model to them. That's all. My name is Eileen Giffer, Criminology 3 Block 1. Thank you for watching.